What if I told you that just 1% improvement every day could completely transform your life? It sounds too simple, right? But here's the reality: small, consistent changes compound over time, leading to results far beyond what you can imagine. Think about this: if you improve by just 1% every single day, in a year, you won't just be 365% better, you'll be nearly 37 times better than when you started. This is the power of compound growth, and it works in every area of life: your skills, habits, mindset, health, and even your career. For example, imagine two people who both decide to start reading. One reads 1 page a day, the other does nothing. At first, there's no noticeable difference. But after a year, the first person has read 365 pages, that's around one full book, while the other remains exactly where they were. This tiny 1% effort, repeated daily, creates massive change over time. And here's the best part: this concept doesn't just apply to reading. It works for fitness, learning, financial growth, and even personal development. The key is to stop chasing overnight success and start focusing on small, consistent actions that move you forward. So, how can you apply this 1% rule in your own life? Let's break it down step by step. The 1% rule explained. Most people believe that success comes from making huge, dramatic changes overnight. But in reality, it's the tiny, consistent improvements that create massive transformation over time. This concept is known as the 1% rule, and it's based on the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, which means continuous improvement, making small, incremental progress every single day. The power of 1% daily progress. Let's break this down with simple math. If you improve by just 1% every day, you might not notice a difference immediately. But over time, the small improvement compounds like interest in a bank account. On day 1, you are at 1.00, your current state. If you improve by just 1% daily, after 1 year, 365 days, you will be at 37.78 times better than when you started. On the flip side, if you decline by 1% daily, you end up close to zero, meaning small negative habits also compound over time. Real-life examples of the 1% rule in action. Imagine learning a new language. If you practice just 5 new words daily, in a year, you'll know 1,825 words, which is enough for basic fluency. If you save just $1 per day, you'll have $365 saved by the end of the year, and with small increases, it can turn into thousands over time. If you exercise just 5 minutes daily, in a year, you'll have 30 hours of extra movement, improving your fitness without feeling overwhelmed. The lesson? Big results don't come from big actions, they come from small, smart choices repeated over time. The key is to focus on daily progress, no matter how small, instead of chasing quick wins. Next, let's talk about why most people fail at self-improvement and how you can avoid their mistakes. Why most people fail at self-improvement. If the 1% rule is so powerful, why do most people still struggle with self-improvement? The truth is, many people fail not because they lack motivation, but because they set themselves up for failure from the start. Here's why. Unrealistic big goals versus small, sustainable changes. Most people get excited about improving their lives and set huge, unrealistic goals like, I'll lose 50 pounds in 2 months. I'll wake up at 5 a.m. every day starting tomorrow. I'll read 100 books this year. The problem? These goals are too big, too fast, and often unsustainable. When results don't come quickly, people get discouraged and quit. Instead, the real secret to success is starting small and being consistent. For example, instead of setting a huge fitness goal, start with 5 push-ups a day. Instead of forcing yourself to wake up at 5 a.m. immediately, shift your alarm 10 minutes earlier each week. These small steps make improvement easier and more natural, reducing the risk of burnout. The mistake of seeking instant results. We live in a world of instant gratification, fast food, one-day shipping, social media likes. This mindset makes people impatient when it comes to self-improvement. They want quick results, and when they don't see changes overnight, they give up. But true progress doesn't work like that. It's like planting a seed. You won't see growth immediately, but with consistent care, it eventually grows into a strong tree. Most people quit too soon, just before they would start seeing real results. The solution? Trust the process. Instead of focusing on big, immediate changes, focus on the process. Celebrate small wins. Even if you improve just 1% each day, it's still progress. Be patient. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. Stay consistent. Even slow progress is better than no progress. The simple formula for 1% daily improvement. Now that you understand the power of small, consistent changes, let's break down a simple, actionable formula to apply the 1% rule in your daily life. Identify key areas for improvement. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Instead, focus on a few key areas that will make the biggest impact. Here are some essential categories. Health, eating better, exercising, improving sleep. Mindset, building confidence, reducing stress, staying positive. Productivity, managing time, reducing distractions, staying focused. Skills, learning a new language, improving communication, mastering a hobby. Pick just one or two areas to start with. This keeps things manageable and prevents overwhelm. Take micro actions. Most people fail because they try to make huge changes all at once. Instead, focus on micro actions, tiny improvements that take little effort but add up over time. Here are a few examples. Want to exercise more? Start with 1 push-up a day. Want to read more? Read 1 page before bed. Want to wake up earlier? Set your alarm 5 minutes earlier each week. Want to learn a new skill? Watch a 5-minute tutorial daily. The secret is to make your improvements so small that it's impossible to fail. Once a habit is established, you can naturally increase the effort. Track your progress. Improvement is invisible in the short term, so tracking your progress keeps you motivated. Use a journal to write down small wins each day, a habit tracker, apps like Habitica, Streaks, or Notion, a calendar to mark the days you took action. Seeing your progress, even if it's just one tiny step per day, creates momentum and keeps you going. The 1% rule is simple but powerful. If you focus on small, daily progress in key areas, take tiny, consistent actions, and track your growth, your life will transform over time. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Start today, start small, and stay consistent. Practical examples of the 1% rule in action. The 1% rule may seem small, but when applied consistently, it creates massive results over time. Here are a few real-life examples of how tiny daily improvements lead to big achievements. Reading 1 page a day equals 30 books a year. Most people struggle to read because they set unrealistic goals like reading 1 book per week. Instead, if you read just 1 page daily, it's effortless. Over time, you'll naturally read more, and by the end of the year, you could finish 20 to 30 books without feeling overwhelmed. Writing 1 sentence daily equals a book in a year. If you want to write a book, starting can feel intimidating. But if you write just 1 sentence per day, it removes the pressure. Some days, you'll write more, and by the end of the year, you'll have thousands of words, enough for a complete book. Walking 5 extra minutes equals long-term fitness. Most people fail at fitness because they try to go all in too fast. Instead, start by walking just 5 extra minutes daily. That's over 30 hours of extra movement per year without making it feel like a big effort. Over time, this small habit can build into a full workout routine. Saving $1 a day equals $365 plus in a year. Want to build savings but don't know where to start? Just save $1 daily. It seems small, but after a year, you'll have $365, and once the habit sticks, you'll naturally start saving more. This method works for investing, budgeting, and financial discipline. Learning 1 new word daily equals fluency over time. Learning a new language feels overwhelming, but what if you just learn 1 new word per day? By the end of the year, you'll know 365 new words, enough to hold basic conversations in a new language. You don't need to make big, dramatic changes overnight. Just focus on getting 1% better every day, and the results will compound into something extraordinary over time. What's one small habit you can start today? Overcoming common roadblocks. Even with the 1% rule, challenges will come. You'll have days when you feel lazy, unmotivated, or distracted. But the key is to keep going despite setbacks. Here's how to overcome the most common obstacles. Dealing with lack of motivation. Motivation comes and goes, so you can't rely on it. Instead, focus on consistency, not perfection. Here's how. Lower the bar. If you don't feel like working out, just do 1 push-up. If you don't feel like reading, read 1 sentence. Starting is the hardest part. Use the 2-minute rule. Make your habits so easy that you can't say no. Instead of write for an hour, start with write for 2 minutes. Remind yourself why you started. When you don't feel like doing something, think about the long-term rewards of staying consistent. Handling bad days. Nobody is 100% perfect every day. The secret is to never let 1 bad day turn into 2. Missing once is fine, missing twice is a problem. If you skip a workout or break a habit, just get back on track the next day. Don't punish yourself. If you eat unhealthy for a day, don't think, I've ruined everything. Just start fresh the next day. Remember, progress isn't linear. Some days will be slow, but as long as you keep moving forward, you're improving. Beating procrastination. Procrastination is the biggest killer of progress. To defeat it, make habits ridiculously easy to start. Instead of I'll meditate for 30 minutes, start with I'll take 1 deep breath. Use a countdown method. Say, 3, 2, 1, go, and just start. Taking action is the hardest part. Change your environment, remove distractions. If you want to read more, put a book on your pillow. If you want to work out, keep your shoes by the door. The goal isn't to be perfect, but to be consistent. Small, daily improvements will always beat short bursts of motivation. Just start, keep going, and trust the process. The power of compound growth. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. But history proves that tiny improvements, repeated over time, lead to extraordinary results. The Olympic athlete's secret. British cycling was once one of the worst performing teams in the world. For nearly a century, they struggled to win major competitions. Then, in 2003, a new coach, Dave Brailsford, introduced a simple idea: the aggregation of marginal gains. Instead of looking for one big improvement, he focused on making the team just 1% better in every area. Adjusting bike seats for better comfort. Using antibacterial hand gel to avoid illness. Improving sleep by finding the best pillows and mattresses. At first, these changes seemed insignificant, but they compounded over time. The result? In just 5 years, British cyclists dominated the 2008 Olympics, winning 7 out of 10 gold medals. In 2012, they broke multiple world records. Between 2007 and 2017, they won 178 world championships and 5 Tour de France titles, all because of tiny, consistent improvements. Entrepreneurs who used the 1% rule. Billionaires like Warren Buffett and Jeff Bezos didn't become successful overnight. They leveraged small, daily improvements that grew into massive success. Warren Buffett started investing with small amounts and let his money compound over decades. Today, he is one of the richest people on earth. Jeff Bezos focused on tiny optimizations in Amazon's customer service and delivery, which led to Amazon becoming a trillion-dollar company. How small efforts lead to massive transformation. Imagine improving just 1% every day. It doesn't seem like much, but over time, the impact is huge. 1% better every day for a year equals 37 times better. 1% worse every day for a year equals almost zero. Now that you know the power of small daily improvements, it's time to take action. What's one tiny habit you'll start today? Maybe it's reading one page, drinking an extra glass of water, or taking a 5-minute walk. Whatever it is, comment below and commit to it. And if you want more life-changing tips like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's grow 1% better every day, together.